Daily market analysis for May 22nd, 2017. Let's start by looking at the index, and you'll see that after this big drop 4 days ago, in the last 3 days, the market has bounced back. However, the breadth has not correspondingly improved. So if you see T2108, only 46% of the stocks are above their 40-day moving average. Majority of the stocks are below their 40-day moving average. Similarly, 55% of the stocks are above their 200-day moving average. So there has been an improvement, but that is basically doesn't necessarily mean that we are at a safe territory to load up aggressively. So you have to look for things which are less risky. So let's look at some of the setups from today, and you had some setups from today, which DVMT, which here there was a breakout, and during the market correction it has bounced back immediately, and you will see that this is a stock which was there in the dollar breakout scan, so it has the potential to make a move up 8 to 20%. It is a slow moving stock. Float is 204 million, so that's something to look at. And the next earnings is in June of 8th, so there is time for that. Now let's look at the other one, which is Mine Safety Protection Services. The trend intensity is about 105 for this one, going sideways, had a dollar breakout today, and not convincing volume, so maybe kind of a setup here. The one which I bought, which was also an anticipation setup, is basically a stock which CHGG, which is like basically had this big breakout on I think earnings and then went sideways, and very orderly sideways move, was not at all affected during the sell-off, and now is breaking out, and volume was also high. If you see here, it was also a 4% breakout. You will see that it was a 4% breakout here. See, 4% breakout met the condition. So that all in all, a good setup, good nice setup, and potential to make 10 to 15% move. On the short side, you have Zoe's Kitchen, basically, which is a weak stock. It has been weak for some time, and the earnings is in next 3 days. That's the thing about this particular stock, but still this is a nice setup for the short side. So those are some of the ideas out of this. DVMT and CHGG are the best on the long side. Now let's look at some of the anticipation setups for tomorrow. Stocks which are setting up for a possible breakout, like you have Thermo Fisher, which is like this big breakout, going sideways in a very orderly fashion, not affected during that sell-off, held up very well. So that's one which I have. Then you have Vertex Pharmaceutical, which is again going sideways. Something like this which goes sideways for a long period of time. You need like really a clear breakout for it to work, because many times just buying on a minor breakout is not going to work on those kind of stocks. Then you have WLTV, Wills Tower Watson, then Berry. This is again an earnings breakout and now going sideways. And then you have West Pharmaceutical again. You'll see that the similar patterns on many of the earnings breakout. They are now going sideways. USNA, which is also setting up. Then you have Masco, Grifols. The biotechnology sector obviously is the one which is always attractive because it has the potential to make big moves. So this is one. Then you have TrueCar, again, like say this is the first leg of the move in this particular move as a swing move. And then orderly, there was a sell-off here, but like it recovered and the volume was not very high on that sell-off, and that can be attributed to the market sell-off. So you have Build-A-Bear Workshop, bouncing back from a down move. Seva, which is a very nice setup. See here, like and the semiconductor sector is also working. Stock is breaking out of a long range here. If you see on a weekly thing, see here from a long range. So that's a nice setup. Again, after earnings, 8 to 10 days of pullback or consolidation. Rail, similar kind of a situation. This is after earnings and then very orderly pullback. So that's one. Here GGG, then you have Con, this is earnings, post-earnings breakout. Then you have VRX, which is again earnings and then going sideways. Then you have Fibrogen, which is basically pulling back a little bit. Then you have eHealth, again earnings breakout and going sideways. So a lot of stocks are setting up nicely. You have Hilton Grand Vacation, which is a IPO, recent IPO or a spin-off from Hilton, and that's also setting up Grubhub, this is again setting up very nicely. See earnings breakout here, and then very orderly pullback. Hardly any gains has been given back, and volume is also low here. Trend intensity is above 105, so that's a nice setup. Molina Healthcare, again similar kind of a thing up here, going sideways on earnings. So you have like around 20 ideas to play with for anticipation setups. All in all, like the market is stabilized after that sell off, and unless there is more selling, it looks like we might just settle down into a range bound action. But that doesn't really affect us, because what we make money is out of setups, specific setups, and there are setups which are showing up in the scans, whether it is 4% scan or dollar breakout scan, and there are some very nice anticipation setups which are showing up. So for swing traders, there are still opportunities in the market.